Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by REC Comics and Collectibles. I'm your host, Roman Chavez, and with me as always...
Oh, I'm Erik Icarus.
And on the ones and twos, and in the center, we have the big Tuna, Jordan Tunney.
Yeah, usually the drums are not this pronounced. This is like a Genesis album.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's nice to have you back here with us. Erik, you can follow us on Instagram at REC Podcast. You can follow myself at Roman REC Podcast. And you can follow the shop, which we are not at 7679 North Union Boulevard in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And you can find Erik wherever black t-shirts and black hoodies and purple sunglasses are sold.
I think I stole these from Mrs. REC.
Yes, you did. But they are part of who you are when you're in the house. When you're in the what are we calling it? The
bunker.
The bunker.
Yeah,
Still
the bunker. Yeah.
All right, Bunker de la Erik, and welcome, guys. Welcome. It's been a while since the three of us have been even in the same room since the unpleasantness. But hey, guys, we're back and we're here to tell you. Not much is going on, but we want to, reconnect, and it's been a while.
Reach out.
And we miss you guys. We miss talking to each other, and we miss talking about nerd stuff. Boys, I have a fun story for you
Let's
this week.
go for it.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, as a rule, I do not buy things for the shop from people. I'm just not in a position to where,
Right.
I'm not buying collections.
Right,
you know?
right.
So, a guy calls the shop, and I never say, well, let me talk to me.
Yeah.
And friend of the show, Scotty, shout out to Scotty. He's always saying, "Hey, if people are asking, we're buying. Scotty is part of REC, like we all are now.
Sure.
But he says, just say. And I always just say, no, I'm not looking. But guy on the phone, I'm using my detective skills. Guy on the phone, he's old. Mm-hmm. Gives me a story that was actually a little sad, so I won't reiterate it here. And sounds like a pleasant Jewish fellow.
Fair enough.
So my boy Scotty's Jewish. I say, hey, I got a guy. We're going to go talk. Because I can't do that by myself. I can't go by myself, okay? I don't go buy collections. Scott does.
Oh, he does.
So he's going to be my Obi-Wan in this endeavor.
Sure.
And, we're playing phone tag back and forth. I keep missing this guy. He keeps missing me. I forget to tell him I'm closed on Thursdays. Mm-hmm. Finally I get a hold of him, and we're going to go out. He lives out in someplace. I don't want to give away his location. But close enough for us to drive, and me and Scotty go check it out.
Okay.
And what really tripped me, he says he had some early Silver Surfer. And, your boy loves some Silver Surfer.
Yes, you do.
So I'm thinking boxes. And
Okay.
I tell Scotty, I says, bring some money, okay? So, whatever. We go out there. Old man, he's happy to have somebody come out because he doesn't want to lug all these boxes.
Sure.
I get there, it's one box. Okay? I get there, it's one box. It's a stack about maybe this high. Right. And it's like in a box that looks like it's been through hell and back.
Sure.
All the comics are stacked up, this way and that way.
Yeah.
And I'm pulling stuff out, and initially, it's a lot of Sergeant Rock and Howling Commandos.
Yeah.
And even the earlier issues that are there aren't really a thing. And then your boy pulls out a Silver Surfer number 3.
Woo! Okay.
Silver Surfer number 3. Erik, do you remember?
Mephisto?
Very good, old man. Very good. Mephisto's first appearance. And then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, all through 18. He has the whole first wave. Great. Next, I do a couple Amazing Spider-Mans. Nothing crazy. But then X-Men 38 through 60-something.
Whoa.
So first Sauron, Erik the Red, all this stuff. And I said, do you have a price in mind? And he goes, I do, but that's poor negotiating tactics. So, he's like, I just, want to see what you guys are doing. Scotty says, let's go for a walk. We go for a walk. We're talking about it. I'm mulling it over. This is the first time I've gone. And I tell him what I think's going to happen.
Right.
I'm like, he wants this, but we're going to offer him this. And he's not going to take it. And he was like, yeah, probably. He's like, that's where I'm at too.
Sure. I mean,
So we go in there. I give him an offer, and he says no. We're not even close. We're not even close.
Okay.
And
can you do the voice?
I can't do the voice. No, I only heard him talk just for a little bit. I don't have it, and anything I do would be super offensive. So
we're not even close,
dude. We were more Long Islandy.
Oh wow! Yeah. Okay.
He was from the East Coast.
Okay.
Great dude, great character. I got to see some cool comics.
Sure.
He wanted 4 times more than I was willing to offer.
Got you.
And the stuff that he had was worth about half of that.
Sure.
So
I mean, were the books in decent shape?
The ones that I wanted were. Yeah, the Run of Silver Surfer, some Fantastic Fours in the 70s, like the issue 70s.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then, like I said, those good X-Men. A lot of Neil Adams, Stranko. He had an X-Men 50. The nicest X-Men 50 I've seen in a long time in person.
So would he have been okay with you cherry picking?
No, he was like, I want to move it, and the only reason he I think we were the only ones who would go out and see him.
Right.
And like I said, I was under the impression there were a lot of comics, but there was if he would have let me cherry pick, I would have just bought those ones. I was going to take.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I only wanted those Callan Commandos for pressing fodder.
Sure.
Because it's of the era, and
you got to learn how to press that kind of paper.
I don't have enough '60s stuff.
Yeah.
But I got to meet a wacky guy with a cool story, a sad story, and but it was super fun. And sadly, your boy came home empty-handed.
You know what?
Not close the deal.
You literally just invented a TV show right here, or a podcast, or a YouTube show.
Yeah.
You should have just went out there with the film that got released. That's how I would have watched that.
But at the same time, like I feel like you gotta be careful marketing like Jewish hunters.
Sure.
I feel like
That's true.
There's maybe a better way to phrase that.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, but see, and that's where people are going to lose their nut because then you're showing people the secrets. And
you don't have, there's ways to edit around it.
Sure, but I don't want people to know me, and then because the payoff on the show is to see then what I paid for it and then what I got for it.
But I'm just saying down the line.
This
is something we could maybe once we're super
RAC
established
in the wild kind of thing.
Sure, right.
I would like to show people's collections off. Is what I'd like to do.
That would be cool
fun.
too. Yeah.
Just show them off. Let them, because all of us as collectors, vinyls, movie paraphernalia, video game stuff, we like to show people what we got.
Yeah.
Sure.
What we found in the hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Can these chairs go up? It's been so long.
I think
they're up. Nope,
I don't think my stool's
Yeah,
not.
no,
it's
you're
not,
good.
God.
It's not effectuating.
But yeah, it was fun. It was the first time I went. I was very candid with this guy.
Yeah.
I said, "Take it easy on me. It's my first time."
Mm-hmm.
But the thing I got to glean how to do it.
Sure.
It went exactly like I thought. I knew what he wanted. It was what he wanted. And it was way too much.
Sure.
And because even he was saying, he was like, "Oh yeah," he's like, he's like, "You can probably get 10,000 out of this set," and I was like, "Yeah, you can't." Yeah, and
10,000.
And no, we're not even close.
Yeah.
Eric. Not even close. Nines. If you got graded nines,
Oh, God, then we're talking.
Then we're
but
talking.
At this point, no.
No, we're all of them were fours.
Yeah.
A couple 5 contenders.
Says, buddy, this ain't your bar mitzvah.
Yeah,
I
man.
ain't helping
yeah.
you out here, man.
This ain't my first bat mitzvah, boy. Scotty did offend him trying to do an inside
Jew joke,
Jew joke,
Jewish
and
joke,
it did not land well.
Can you tell it?
No. Because I don't even know the word. It was a word.
Meshuggah?
It wasn't that.
It was like a Yiddish probably.
Yes, yeah. And the guy was like, I actually don't say that. I find it offensive. And I just looked at Scotty, and he was like, damn.
He's like, I said kite.
Yeah. We were flying kites. No, but it was a really fun, experience. The guy was very cool, and I let him know. I said, I'm going to offer you this. I am not offended. I got to see cool books, and I meant it. I got to see cool. Yes, your boy's already. I've sold more Silver Surfer 3s and 4s than I can count.
Sure,
but I love Silver Surfer 1 through 18.
Right.
1 through 18. Basima, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That sounds like a lot of fun, dude.
It was a lot of fun. It was
a
lot of fun. And, he lived close to a cemetery, so I was like, oh, man, this Texas Chainsaw thing is writing itself.
So Roman's like, so if you find any more...
Yeah. Well, he said he had vinyl, too, and I was trying to get you the hook up there, but I think when he saw what I was offering for comics, he probably wasn't going to be too happy with what he was getting for vinyl.
Sure.
And, he was even, and I love this. Guys, if you sell your comics, this is not a selling point. You've only been read once or twice.
That doesn't help anything.
As if the ink is different depending on the number of eyes on it.
Yeah, like now, if you read it 100 times, I can tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but it was really fun. It was a great experience.
Right.
I knew I wasn't going to come in anywhere close, but it was cool. It was fact finding.
Sure.
And man, I had to get something for myself to kind of make me feel better, and I'll tell you about that later.
Oh.
All right, kids. So what?
I'm gonna go on the road with you next time you do this.
I want to know. Yeah. Well, then
let me know, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't really have a job anymore.
I want to know what the big Tuna has been doing in his isolation when it comes to the entertainment news, because you're our news guy. You really pay attention to it far more than we do. You always find the very, kind of interesting stuff that's going on. And right now we're just kind of in a news drought.
Yeah.
Because, again, writer strike, SAG Awards.
On social media, I'll often post "send me news." The autocorrect changes, and I get a lot of unsolicited pictures. Mm-hmm. So there is some news stuff. Earlier this week, Warner Brothers, in their infinite wisdom, decided to grace us with a first official look of the sequel to Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. This is super weird because there has been a zero marketing budget for this movie. Even, some argued Flash came out in the summer, and then there's going to be Blue Beetle, and then there's going to be Aquaman. So we were going to get 3 DC in a year, which we ended up not even getting 1 DC in a year. Well, and when it comes to looking at the... because everyone forgets about Shazam earlier, right?
Yeah. Oh, there
you go.
I didn't even know Blue Beetle came out.
Yeah, came and went.
Yeah,
it's already on Max, right?
So did most. It's not on yet, but it is going to be hitting this month,
really quick,
September 19th. In the next week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll have had something like 40-some days in its theatrical run. That's rough. Now, there's been no marketing for Aquaman, not even an official photo released until this week. There was in HBO Max when it's rebranded as Max.
Right.
There was a behind the scenes that featured some B-roll. It featured some voiceover narration from Jason and from James Wan, the director. It also had some, you see, we got our first look at Black Manta in his return. Prince Orm.
Yeah.
Which
Eric's boy.
Orm or Patrick Wilson, or both.
Well, actually, I like them both. Actually,
I still think we really missed an opportunity with Patrick Wilson to be Hank Pym. But I like what we did though.
Oh yeah.
Earlier this week, we got the first look at a teaser for the trailer, which is releasing tomorrow, Thursday. It's going to be hitting online at some point for the movie. I told Erik upstairs that there is part of me that's preparing myself. The movie's slated to release in December. We've already had one major December release moved due to the writer's strike, and that is Dune Part 2.
Yes.
Super disappointing because Dune was going to own December in the IMAX. It was going to get like a 5 or 6 week exclusive IMAX run.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to come after The Marvels is releasing in November, and then it was going to be Aquaman in December, and Dune. Dune is now moved to March of 2024 for now. Well, I think it's possible that we get this first look. We get a 2-minute trailer sort of thing. We're gonna. I'll get to some of the story beats. I think we're gonna see in just a minute. I think it's very likely that we're also gonna see an updated release date. I think it's possible that Warner Brothers might move it back. There's
because December 20th, right? I think.
Christmas release sort of thing. Now, I could see the logic behind keeping it that it'll be able to own December. It's gonna be the biggest release.
There's nothing
in December.
Challenge it.
Marvels will have been out at that point by a month. So I don't think you're going to be getting a lot of that. I don't think they have to be concerned with that cutting into their business. I don't think they have to be concerned with that cutting into their business if it came out a week later. But anyway, so I do think it's, again, with these studios, that would allow them to pace out to 2025. We would get a in the can released Warner Brothers DC project in 2024 as a film, which we're not slated to get until 2025 with the rebirth of the DC universe. Right. We've talked before about how 2024 is going to be kind of this gap year.
Right.
Like, yes, we're getting a second Joker movie, but like in terms of like
James
DC comic, 2024 is going to be the drought, right?
Yeah.
So maybe if Aquaman moves a little bit, if it moves to early spring, like if it hits that March, April sort of time period, does that give them the opportunity to try to draw out a little bit of the interest into the summer and then fall as we're getting the production started for the Superman movie. Matt Reeves' Batman will be shooting in 2024, so there'll be some stuff about that. It's interesting though that these two movies, both Dune and Aquaman, which are both Warner Brothers releases, were going to be hitting in the same month.
Right.
You usually don't see a studio essentially competing with themselves in that way. So I could see the logic of keeping Aquaman and then giving that space for Dune to hit in March of 2024.
Right.
It's looking like story-wise you're going to get the return, the revenge of Black Manta.
Blacker, harder.
It's going to do what literally every
Dark Water. Remember Pirates of Dark Water? That cartoon was awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Did you watch that?
Yeah, I know of it. I never watched it.
It's crazy and awesome.
I'm like that with Fraggle Rock too.
Yeah.
I get that from people.
Yeah, you're definitely more of a Fraggle Rock guy than a Dark Water guy. The Dark Water may offend your god, but it's good. Okay. It's good.
Don't assume you know anything about my god. So anyway, it looks like we're gonna get the kind of tried and true sequel storyline. Villain and hero from the first movie are gonna team up together in the second movie. I've seen some leaked press from the Aquaman. I think it's going to be hitting Empire Magazine. Is going to have a little write-up about it, describing the movie as like an action bromance between these two half-brother rivals, Prince Orm and Aquaman. Yeah. Most of the stuff we've seen features them together, so I think it's going to be one of those, enemy of my enemy sort of scenarios.
And they're all high-fiving.
Yeah. Like wet high-fives.
So I mean, again, I was not super blown out of the water.
Yeah, right.
With the first Aquaman, I said earlier, it didn't feel like a movie that deserved to make $1 billion.
No.
But it did. And I can't say that this second one won't, because I didn't think the first one would, and it did. I will say, though, that when it comes to this superhero stuff, like, we're about to enter a pretty rough drought.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some Disney stuff hitting, Loki season 2. Mm-hmm. But again, like comic fans, superhero fans, those of us, some people are fairly particular, and if they're not being satiated or satisfied with what's out there, it's going to be hard to get them to theaters.
Yeah.
We're entering a period now where theaters are going to start to look to get more creative with what they're marketing and releasing. There is we're getting a Star Wars release in theaters. That's happening this week, I believe. We're getting Ahsoka episode. Yep. In October, we are getting... I'm stoked about this. Like, I haven't bought my ticket yet, but I'm going to. We are getting the theatrical one night only for Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
That should be awesome.
Which, as a Back to the Future fan, like, that's probably become like my number one thing right now.
Oh, nice.
Like in my classroom, I've got like an OG Back to the Future poster. I've got a minimalist poster from Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
I got my Playmobil DeLorean. And so and all that jazz. I even had a student one year make a flux capacitor out of a mini Altoid can.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
it's those little things.
Nice.
So I'm stoked about that. But like, are we going to get more and more of these classic releases? Is this going to be kind of like what was happening during COVID, where you get the ability to kind of bring back re-release product because studios got to make their money somehow?
Yeah.
And there's really no end in sight at this point with the writer's strike.
I'd say so. I think that's a good idea to keep people going to the theater.
Yeah.
Tug on those nostalgia strings.
Make it cheap
Yeah.
make it affordable so you can sell out a Friday night, Saturday
Right.
night.
I think that might be their biggest play, other than showing TV shows in the theater like they're doing.
Yeah, that's wild.
I think this
Didn't
is
work for
best route
Inhumans.
for Hollywood at this point.
Game of Thrones tried it too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to say I think your idea about pushing it's a possibility, but here's why I think they won't, because I think you want to end on a high note, and there's a chance Aquaman can end the year on a high note. Mm-hmm. They've been losing money.
Hemorrhaging.
I think hemorrhaging money, and I think that you want to put as much distance between the old guard and the new guard as you can. That's just what I think, and like I said, they have a good chance of making money given the time frame. Movies still do well during Christmas.
Right.
You're still trying to get people out of the house, but still spend time with one another.
Sure.
So I do think that there is a reason to stay on schedule.
Right.
Because pushing it to like spring.
Oof. That's like the dead zone too.
I think you get a baked-in audience for the holidays.
Yeah.
I do, and I think we need it.
To Jordan's point, I do see it. I can see it both ways.
Yeah,
I can see it going both ways.
Jordan's not wrong. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Jordan's not wrong.
Okay.
But and there is a slate of material that's going to be coming out. When the writer's strike started, there was a lot of stuff that was in production that had a halt, right? Deadpool 3. But there was other things that were happening that were wrapping production.
Right.
One of my, it's flying under the radar because they haven't released like the official marketing for it yet. But one of my like bet on it now, it's going to be a hit. People are going to like it. Amazon is doing a series based on the Fallout video game franchise.
Oh wow!
And it looks good. And when I say it looks good, it means I came across a Twitter account that had leaked footage from the like first marketing for it.
Right.
And my gosh, like. As a video game adaptation, the vertibirds they call it, the ships that are flying look straight out of the video game. Huh. The Brotherhood of Steel, who are these like mech suits, straight out of the video game. You even get a shot of the ghouls, the people that like are mutated from the nuclear fallout. Like they kind of look like they look like walking corpses essentially, but they're people with feelings and emotions and stuff. I mean, like right out.
But they're ugly, so they're not real people.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's funny because in all the games, like you'll encounter one that's like treated as a second class citizen. You know, and then like it closes out with a beautiful shot of like Los Angeles in the 1950s, and you see Nuke and Nuke. And Nuke, because it's going to take place in Los Angeles.
Sweet.
So just really cool. Like you get these people, they moved into these vaults and they lived in them for a few hundred years. And you know, in the video games, you're always the character that ends up having to leave.
Yeah.
And so depending on how they want to play that, I think there's some interesting ways to go about it. Apple TV just recently adapted a book series called Silo. They called it Silo.
Oh, yeah.
I just listened to the audiobook of it, and it's got a similar feel.
Yeah.
It's about the life of people living in these silos.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah, and like the people, they're being lied to about what's going on outside. There's some cool stuff for sure.
It's got a village vibe to it, kind of.
Yeah, a little bit of a village
better.
vibe.
It's way. I'm not. Yeah, that's not. It's not supposed to be a compliment, but it's.
There's some good things about the village. I'm a village defender.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, I'm a village defender.
I'm a lady in the water.
But there you go. Yeah,
I call myself a lady in the water apologist.
Eric's like, I'm the happening defender.
I think Eric still likes signs, right? You still like that?
I love signs.
Except
for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Up to it.
I like the twist was clever. I thought
For
how
tights?
everything tied together.
Yeah.
Like
but it's
the fact
weird,
that
though.
They should have just made them demons.
Well, see,
and the
that's
fact
the
that
thing.
he was a preacher, that would it's kind of BS, but it would have made more sense than aliens.
Sure. All that is to say, there's content out there that can be adapted,
Sure.
and there's a lot of content that was being adapted.
Right.
I think though, the longer the strike goes on, though, the productions that were taking place, some of them may fall by the wayside, and CEOs may say, "Listen, we can't afford to bring this back online." We saw during the last writer's strike a lot of movies.
They just got
axed. The original like look at adapting Justice League got scrapped.
That's right. Yeah.
In part due to the writer's strike of 2008.
Yep.
So how this is going to affect future stuff, has yet to be seen.
I don't know. I think in a strange way, this might benefit everybody if they're going into a drought for comic book content for movies. We might need a break.
Yeah, a little hibernation.
I think this might, we might get that feeling of longing for the comic book franchises.
Like, man,
it might be okay. This might be
Avengers?
all right. Give us a good year off from it, and then they could, like Jordan was saying, maybe due to the writer's strike, but well, do we really need to make this movie? These characters aren't doing well anyway. Maybe we fire something else up.
Yeah, maybe they reassess the market.
Maybe it's a good way to, that's a positive spin.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta turn it off, turn it back on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's figure out all the junk.
Control Alt Delete.
Yeah.
Forest fires have a weird way of like helping protect against future forest fires.
Yeah, fair. Guys, I have one thing that I wanna end on tonight, and it's gonna be a good one. And I've been waiting for you to get back. We've talked about it briefly, but next week hitting stores, comic book stores, RAC Comics and Collectibles. Wolverine versus Predator one shot.
Interesting.
It's been, this is a conversation that I've had countless times in my life with friends, with you, with friends, with customers, and even Eric sometimes. It's just always one of those things like who could win in a fight. You always do the cross
Yeah.
You know, a Terminator versus a blank, whatever. But
Yeah.
Marvel, you know, with Disney buying Fox, has had access to these properties of both Alien and Predator.
Right, and they're not doing as much as I thought.
They're doing, you know, they're doing main titles, and they've already had a couple different volumes of each right now.
Sure.
So, but yeah, it's not
The
as like
crossover's not
big.
happening, yeah.
I'm surprised they've waited this long, but this is a conversation that I've had countless times.
Sure.
And I got to know what you guys think about it. Let me give you it's mum as to the whole story.
Sure.
But the cover shows a Predator and then Logan and his Weapon X stuff.
Okay.
So
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yes.
Like the feral headset.
yeah, the headset
Like,
and the
belt.
mechanical codpiece.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
yeah. So I'm so excited, but I want to
Yeah.
hear what do you think, Eric?
I'm excited for it. I think it's long overdue.
Yeah,
Are you asking me who I think would win?
we'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
No, I'm excited for it. I think these two characters lend themselves to each other.
Yeah. We have
They're
had
both-
Batman, Predator. We
That's
have
true.
had Aliens versus Batman, Superman, Green Lantern.
Yeah.
So we have had some weird crossovers.
Yeah,
in
but
the
this one
past.
makes the most sense, in my
Kind
opinion.
of does.
Um,
Although the Green Lantern makes sense, alien stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
But this one is just, if it's down to it, they're both kind of the, you know, the animal hunter. They hunt.
Yeah.
They're both prey and
Yeah.
predator. You know, they definitely lend themselves to each other. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. And you got the aesthetic one claw for the predator.
Yeah.
You know, he's the ultimate killing machine, and then the ultimate killing machine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe the ultimate hunting machine, but I don't know, man.
No, love machine.
Yeah. Danny Glover, you know, Donald Glover beat him, you know, so like I'm not really worried about the Predators.
I think they're trying to. Forgot
you
about
know,
that.
like
Yeah.
it's just like Kang.
So did
getting beat by
Adrian
Ant-Man.
Brody.
So Adrian Brody, but Adrian Brody was jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of brought it in that
He did.
movie.
He kind of did.
Yeah,
Okay,
like,
sorry.
He
you're
wore
right.
mud.
Yeah.
He had a good fight, like because obviously Adrian
Predators
Brody,
is slept on. I liked Predators.
Predators is great.
It's really good. Yeah.
Freaking that Yakuza guy.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
awesome.
What's the Native American in the original?
Oh, Billy.
Billy. Yeah, he's like the Billy of the group, quiet, but like
Yeah, but
Can
Billy
throw
went
down.
out like a.
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had that twist with like Topher Grace.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like,
Which
this
was
guy doesn't
great.
belong. And it's like, oh, this guy belongs.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like.
Which is cool. They kind of concealed it with him being a doctor. Like, oh, maybe
Yeah.
they're giving him a fair shot by
Yeah.
bringing in a medic.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that's
yeah.
why I was like, oh, okay. But then
yeah, to
more goes
prolong
on.
the hunt.
Yeah.
You know, but it's, yeah.
But what I liked is that it showed them saying, you know, it's just like big game hunters on Earth when they go to you go hunt a lion, you shoot a lion, and all that stuff. Like they want to see what the best has to be offered from around the world. They've been coming apparently in
canon, yeah.
in canon now since definitely pre Civil War, I think.
Sure.
you
I
know,
think before that, too.
and
Yeah.
in AVP,
Yeah.
you know, the Incas or wherever they were at.
Dude,
Or
yeah.
actually, they were in the South Pole, weren't they?
Yeah.
I was gonna say if we argue whether if it's canon, I think one of the best products of the 20th century studio was Prey.
Yeah.
And that
Prey was
predates
good.
Civil War. That predates American colonization,
It does
or it's like
predate-
early colonization
Yeah.
because there's
Yeah.
French trappers.
Okay, the
you know?
French.
Yeah,
oh yeah, because the
and
gun has French.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where I was trying to think.
Gosh,
okay, so
man.
yeah,
and
I mean,
what a well done movie.
Yeah,
like
that was great.
that impressed me with how well
Yeah.
that was done.
yeah. There's no reason we're not getting samurai, Genghis Khan, Vikings.
Sure.
Like just put Predator in
Have him
eras.
fight Jesus.
And I love, versus JC, man. That's,
I think I'll be down for that.
yeah, I'm the son of the Lord.
That's the biggest game you can get.
Yeah, the most dangerous game, JC.
Jesus.
So, as I'm gonna start with Jordan. Who wins and why?
Yeah, I don't want
Not
to make
knowing a bunch about Weapon X.
Yeah, not knowing a bunch about Weapon X, but knowing how Logan's healing factor works. I think it's hard to argue. I think it's hard on that logical brain level of comparing side by side T-shirt. I think it's hard to argue how Wolverine could lose in the sense that the Predator species, while having the ability to medically, I've got an injury or something like that, they don't have the healing factor that Logan has.
Right.
I think that while it's going to be compelling to see what a one shot looks like of these two, feral going at it, I do think though that it's similar to the argument of Superman versus blank.
Sure.
Where it's like, if he's OP, like, if he's just overpowered,
Right.
Superman versus Batman. If Superman wanted to kill Batman,
kill him.
he could kill the whole planet if he wanted to kill Batman. He just grabbed the moon.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I think the healing factor gives Logan
And
the
the
edge
adamantium.
because he can prolong the fight.
Yeah.
Whereas the Predator's health is essentially, theoretically, it's going to be continually diminishing,
Right.
injury to injury, right?
Right.
So now if there's something where it's like, if he's released from Weapon X, or if it's some sort of alt universe where he's undergone the Weapon X procedure,
Right.
but lost his ability to heal, or something,
kind of
something that
levels
tries
the
to level it
playing
out a
field,
little bit, maybe, it'll be interesting to also see where it's set, because if he's out of the Weapon X and he's like up in Canada,
Right.
that'll be very interesting to kind of see how
Predator in the cold.
Yeah, the Predator
That'd
in
be
the cold,
interesting.
because with the climates we've seen have typically been the
Tropical.
the hot tropical, or they've been,
the concrete jungle.
the concrete, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, I'd give the edge to Wolverine, because that healing factor allows him to prolong the conflict for as long as it really needs to go.
Sure.
Yeah.
All those reasons, I think, but I have a twist on this.
Okay.
What if, Predator isn't there to kill him, but to capture him, so they can
To bring him back to the preserve.
Yeah. So why does he heal? Give him to our science. We need to figure this out.
Just
What
like
if-
how they tried to weaponize autism.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Weaponized healing
Yeah.
factor.
Oh, that's
what,
smart.
What if the Predators were the ones running the Weapon X program?
That's a good point too.
And so now it's gotten out, and now they got to take out this thing they've made.
I'm interested. I'm into it.
I like that, and I love that you went the twist route, because I have a twist myself that
Okay.
I was thinking about. I like that. What if, man, that's a good idea that they would try to take him to try to
they're
get
not
the
trying
stuff.
to hunt him. They're trying to just capture him.
So that's why they're trying to capture him.
Wolverine's out to kill.
Yeah.
They're not out
They're
to
not.
kill.
They're not. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's a good way around it. Like, we just got to bring him in.
So let's say, what if there's multiple predators?
Right.
That evens the odds without
Yeah, it does
taking
even
away
the
the
odds.
healing factor.
Sure.
And then what if they're trying to get him, and then they're like, oh crap, like, we got to get out of here before this guy kills us.
Oh, and then they become
the prey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
it would be super awesome to see like Weapon X like shredding their ship apart and blowing up, and the Predators are like, do we have a plan B?
Yeah, like they trank him with their super alien stuff.
Yeah.
And they put him in a cell, and he just burns through it, and then his adamantium can cut through their
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, that would be kind of cool. I'd
Yeah,
like
they've
to
got
see
those
that.
like nets, and like there's other humans, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
didn't count on the fact that this human has indestructible metal
Yeah,
claws
just,
that just like rip through it, and
Yeah.
it's like, we did not prepare for this. You
Well,
know?
and he's
Like-
also got superhuman strength too.
Yes.
Everyone forgets that Wolverine is superhuman
And
strong.
if you're invisible,
he's
that
gonna
doesn't
smell
matter. He's
you.
going to smell you. He's going to hear you.
He can probably see you because he can see through the spectrum.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's
That's
got that
true.
animal vision kind of. So
Hot
I like
animal
that aspect that they're probably going to be like, we need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Like we got to get help. Like, this thing is worth getting, but
Yeah.
we need more of
Yeah, we
us.
need more.
What's going to be awesome is if like the storyline is that the Predators that arrive are like the rich spoiled kids who are going for the safari, but they're going for the safari for
Daddy.
the selfies.
Yeah.
And so
Daddy.
they're not. Yeah. They're like finger out on the tee. Like,
Yeah.
but the problem is like they're not used to doing the work.
Right,
and
right,
now
right.
there's something that's hunting them, something that can smell them even
Right.
when they're invisible.
Yeah.
Like that shot of them talking invisibly and like a claw through
Yeah.
with the green,
Oh,
side,
that'd be
and it's
cool.
like he snuck up on them.
Yeah.
He found them when they were invisible, and it becomes the whole like now it's like these these rich kids being
rich
taken apart.
predators.
They're doing their rite of passage, but it's like we're hunting a human in Canada.
Yeah.
Like
The
what's
nicest place
Yeah,
on the
they don't
earth.
even have guns here.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like
my
he'll
gosh.
probably say he's sorry. So
I could tell you what I do want. I mean, you got to give it to us, because I think it's only
Yeah.
a one shot, so I don't think it's going to be a series.
Oh.
But we'll see. But a predator like trying to get the head and can't take it
Yeah, it's
off.
like, what the?
Yeah, because it's because of the
It's just not
metal.
going anywhere. Yeah.
Oh man, or
So
he's just real
I'm
heavy.
excited to read this.
Yes, and I'm excited to sell it to people.
When
I
is
went
it coming?
hard on it. Comes out next week. This is the 20th,
Let's
I
go
believe.
for it.
I believe in it. I think it's something that will at the very least be fun.
Yeah.
It has excellent homage covers to Incredible Hulk 340.
Oh, nice.
The
Yeah.
McFarlane's
McFarlane,
claws
yeah.
Reflecting
the
Hulk.
reflection. Okay, yeah, I know
and
that
they've
one.
got one of Wolverine, and then they have one of the Predator,
Perfect.
reflecting
That's
Wolverine.
That's
so,
awesome.
You know what would be legit? It would be to see like a the arms, you know,
Oh,
like
my God,
you know, but it's
yeah.
like Wolverine, you know, and like Sabretooth or
Yeah,
something.
what if
you
it
know,
turns
like,
out to be a love story,
oh my
guys?
gosh,
Ooh, I'm into it.
yeah, the ultimate battle is one in the heart.
All right, kids, that's our show. If you like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button. Let us know what you think of the show below. Tell your friends. Click that little bell so you know when we got new stuff. I know we've been sporadic lately, guys, but we're gonna keep bringing you content as long as we can. And if we take a little while, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
Eric, do you have any final thoughts for us today?
Yeah. I want to get a few copies of this book, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited.
I'm excited
At
about it,
REC
too.
Comics and Collectibles.
Yeah. You get your employee 5% discount. Yeah, you guys get better. So,
You do.
any hot tuna takes for us tonight?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, even though we may be entering a period of time where we're going to have kind of a drought of new content in the movies and maybe on some of the streaming services, there's a lot out there to explore and find.
Totally.
There's stuff, there's a lot of untapped, especially in writing, and also going deep with either older runs of comics or
I think we go in a nostalgia direction,
or
yeah.
like independent, you
Maybe we
know,
go
in
that
some of
way.
the
It's
independent
comfort
ones.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's stuff out there to check out. There's no reason that you can't be entertained even during a writer's strike.
Yeah.
If you're not getting out to the theaters, you can still
Read a
find a
book.
good story. Yeah.
I am seeing an uptick at the shop of guys like, I don't have shows.
Yep.
What's good?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I got what they need.
So that's
kids.
it. This is only helping,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, and drumming up some real interest in the source material, which
Absolutely.
is always cool.
Yeah.
Kids, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I have been your host, Roman Chavez.
I'm still Erik Icarus.
And
Shalom.
for the big tuna, we will catch you on the next podcast.